My GF, F18, kissed her girl close friend in front of me, M18. I need some perspective on this. I've been dating this girl for almost a month now, but I've known her for about 2 months. From the beginning, I knew she was bisexual and had a history once of her kissing a female friends at parties, especially when drinking. But she was single while she was doing it, so I didn't care. Before we officially started dating, she invited me to a party at her friend's house. That night, she got drunk and ended up kissing one of her girl close friends and doing a lot of things that made me uncomfortable, sexual jokes like touching each other's boobs. It hurt, but we weren't official yet, so I let it go. The very next day, we entered a serious, committed relationship. And I had a conversation with her about what happened at that party. I told her clearly that it made me uncomfortable, that it wasn't normal or okay in the context of something serious, and that it really messed with my head. She told me that for her it was normal, but admitted she understood how much it bothered me. So I thought, okay, now that we've talked, this won't happen again. But it did, and honestly, it was worse. At my girlfriend's birthday party yesterday, she got drunk again and started kissing a girl I'd never met, and then the same close friend as before. But this time it wasn't just kissing, they literally making out in front of me, with again the sexual jokes, and my girlfriend didn't give a damn about it. She knew I was there, how it bothered me, but she didn't even talk to me after she did it. And to make it worse, throughout the night, just like the last time, my girlfriend and her friend kept going to the bathroom together every 15 minutes. I don't want to make assumptions, but it made me really uncomfortable, especially considering the context. I felt completely invisible in that situation. And then everyone decided to go to the bar after the party, and that's when I left because I knew it would get much worse. I honestly feel humiliated. I really cared about her. I wanted to make this work. But how can someone say they care about you and still knowingly hurt you like this? I don't know what to do or how to feel. She's cheating and disrespecting you in your relationship. Let her go and find better, which shouldn't be hard. She's cheating on you in front of you. Leave. You're in a monogamous relationship with someone who is openly sexual with other people. Why does it matter what gender of person she's making out with? The best, and I use that word very tentatively, case scenario here is she expects you to be into her kissing girls. But it sounds more like she doesn't really care about your feelings and thinks being bisexual gives her special rules. What do you need perspective on, lil bro? She flat out cheated on you like. For some guys they see this as a fetish. Like a reward or a lucky girl making out with another girl. Especially if she's down for a threesome. However, not for a few. So this case you want to be clear that you'd be the only one intimate with her. If she does this again, it's considered cheating regardless of the gender. So make boundaries with her, or else you need to find someone else who respects your space. She's cheating right in front of your face, and only God knows what she did in the bathroom or after the bar when you left. This is not the kind of girl you or anyone should want to be in a relationship with. Go let her be the community girlfriend and find someone you are compatible with. How do I, 26F, explain to my son, 3M, that we won't be seeing his grandpa anymore? Trigger warning for physical abuse. Too long did not read. How do I explain to my 3-year-old that we won't be calling or visiting his grandpa anymore? I went no contact with my dad about 2 months ago for the sake of my mental health. I haven't seen him since, and I haven't contacted him except to send a Happy Father's Day text and to send photos and videos of my son's school recital last month. They used to be very close, as my son is the only grandson, but after our last conversation, I knew I needed to take a step back from him. Long story short, my mother had to be escorted from their house by police again because of his physical abuse towards her, and because I wouldn't call my mother and convince her to go back to him like he asked me to. He told me he would never speak to me again if they got a divorce. I told him if he was going to be like this, then not to wait to see if she came back or not, just cut contact then and there. It was easily one of the hardest things I've had to do, and I still think about calling or visiting him at least once every other day. But I still think this is for the best for both me and my son. The problem is, my son keeps asking to go visit grandpa. He loved to go driving with my dad, and they would get treats and hang out all day together when we visited. It breaks my heart every time I have to tell him no when he asks to visit him. What can I do to ease the transition for him? Edit. The reason why I am finding it hard to explain this to him is because my son has a cognitive delay. I've been advised to get him an appointment for an ASD assessment, and he's been in speech therapy since he was 18 months old, so simply saying, "We can't see grandpa anymore," has not been working. I should have clarified. You tell him in an age-appropriate way that grandpa hurt grandma and we don't spend time with people who hurt others. I mean seriously, is this the first time he's hurt your mom? And if not, why have you been letting your son spend time with an abuser? My kids have never met my parents, and when they were old enough to ask why, I told them that my parents were mean to me. When they got older, and asked more questions, teenagers, I elaborated more on the abuse. Just tell your son that grandpa was mean to grandma and hurt her, and we can't have someone around that hurts people. He's 3. I'm sorry, we can't today. Why don't you go pick out a book? Just redirect. Kids that age live in the now. Don't overthink it. Just tell him that you can't go today. You don't have to explain. Your son is still young. The longer you go without seeing him, the more you will forget. There will be times when he asks and you give him a simple answer like, Grandpa is working. Or, Grandpa is out of town. If you were to explain the full truth, it would be too complicated for him to process. As he gets older, you can start answering some of his questions more honestly. They used to be very close. Your son is 3, he's close to his favorite stuffed animal, or literally whatever is familiar. Don't sweat that bit. Not exposing children to abusive people is always the right move. Tell him grandpa is a violent, dangerous person, and he needs to tell you right away if grandpa ever tries to get in contact with him. F24, got pregnant from a situationship, M19, I'm scared and I don't know what to do. So let's call this guy Max. Max and I met in September at a college party and absolutely hit it off and became friends. We both go to a very prestigious university in our country. We're from Eastern Europe, and we're actually classmates. I have a degree from another university since I didn't get into this one at 18, which is why I'm so old. Gradually me and Max grew closer, and it turns out we have a lot in common in both interests and upbringing. In March we were both in a very stressful stage in our lives and were both intoxicated, so we ended up hooking up at a house party. From then on things kinda changed between us. Max became more affectionate and I eventually gave into it. We were kissing and hooking up regularly, but we were never quite boyfriend and girlfriend, more like friends with benefits. I'm on birth control and have been since I was 20. My periods were always regular, but this month my period was 3 days late and I started getting nervous, so I bought a test just to make sure I wasn't pregnant. I was shocked and I panicked, so I bought another test and it came back positive too. I immediately called Max and I was sobbing so hard I'm surprised he understood me. He came over and helped me calm down, but I could see that he was scared too. We cuddled and started chatting about our possible options. When I brought up abortion, Max started crying and he sobbed about how he could never ever do that and that he could never ever get over that and that we'd figure it out, and that he loves me so much, just anything but please not that. We ended up agreeing that we both need time to think and we'd revisit this conversation tomorrow. Still, I'm very scared about this whole situation. Part of me wants to keep the baby and co-parent with Max as we'd have the financial means and the support to do so. Part of me is hesitant because I don't want to ruin his career or mine. Any advice would be highly appreciated. I wouldn't base my decision on whether to have a baby on what someone else wants, no matter how emotional they were about it. You don't know him that well and he may not stick around, so take that into account too. If Max bails, are you okay taking care of the kid on your own? And please read about what it's like being a mom. If you have no sleep, can't work, a fussy baby, etc., will you resent him and regret your choice? Having a kid should always be done with FYI lol knowledge of the situation and by being prepared for all scenarios. Do not have a child because a teenager begged you to. A child is a human being that will have to live whatever life you provide for it. Don't make a decision that huge based on what a teenager, who has far less skin in the game than you, wants. Only have a child if you really truly want to parent a child well into adulthood and believe you have the skills and resources to do that well. Get the abortion. He's 19, he's not even mentally grown. We can't tell you what to do, neither can Max. This is your decision and yours only. Your body, your choice. Max is allowed to be human and have emotions, of course. But this is not his decision to make. Pressuring you like that isn't okay. You do not know this guy. Get the abortion and tell him you miscarried. Girlfriend, 25F, has started smoking at work, and it's a complete turn off for me, 27M. Am I being reasonable for considering breakup because my girlfriend has started smoking? A bit of context, I, 27M, started dating the girlfriend, 25F, over a year ago. She did not smoke back then, and I wouldn't want to date a smoker in general since I feel like it's pretty disgusting and self-destructive. However, in recent months, she started a new job that is a bit more stressful, and has started taking smoking break with colleagues. I told her that I do not like this at all. She should be mindful of her health, and this is a slippery slope towards a lifetime of addiction and health consequences. It seems really stupid to even start. She told me that I don't understand her and that smoking breaks really help with her job, waitress. I argued that just for a momentarily relief for her job, money, she's setting herself for a much bigger issue. She doesn't buy this argument. Honestly, while I like her very much, it has been a complete turn-off in this aspect. I understand that it is her life and her choices. She can do what she wants, and I should not be controlling. In the end, I mentioned to her that it's pretty much a deal breaker. I will not date a smoker, She can do with whatever she wants with this information. Obviously she is pretty upset. Not sure if I'm being too harsh and whether I am being reasonable. Current smoker, you're being perfectly reasonable. This shit is terrible, and if she never did it before, there's no reason to start now. I quit 22 years ago. My husband, then new BF, told me he didn't want to kiss a smoker. And I liked kissing him. As a former smoker, I don't think you're being unreasonable. Not only does it stink, but it has a massive impact on a person's overall health and mood. I say make your feelings clear, but you can't force her to change and may need to accept that she'd rather smoke than date you. That is 100% fair and valid of you. Would absolutely be a deal breaker for me. I once dated someone who secretly started smoking, and I could smell it when they exhaled. Literally never wanted to be close to them again. As a cigarette smoker, I understand and respect people's boundaries when it comes to smokers. I personally think you're being very valid in regard to wanting to end things, especially since you were clear it's a deal breaker.